Hello boys, my name is Yoshi, and welcome back to my true 100% playthrough of Mario Kart World for the Nintendo Switch, boys. Yeah, we're being really excited now. In the last video, I'll just make sure I show this off before I do anything else. In our previous videos, we did all of 100cc Grand Prix, all 3 stars on everything, and more recently we did all of Knockout Tour 3 stars as well. I'm just confirming this just to show you that I'm not cheating or doing something, that I got all these legit. And if you want to see the 50cc 100%, just check the beginning of my playthrough. That will be the first part of my playthrough. So yeah, as you see, everything is 3-star now. Theoretically, we should be going to 150cc. Well, there's a problem. There's a specific unlockable that requires us to do a specific thing. What's that specific thing, you might ask? Free roam. So, you've been probably waiting for me to do this for a while. You've been wanting me to do this for at least a good while, and yes, we haven't used Multi-Mole yet, so we'll just use something that we haven't unlocked yet. We'll probably just go down the list here and just kind of go with stuff as we go on, like we did before, and try to show off all the cards if we can. So, I know we used these two recently, so we'll use Bulldozer next. Anyways, so this is free roam mode. What is it? It's basically, I think I told you already before, this is the open world mode of this game. Yeah, this game pretty much has an open world build. You can go around, do all sorts of stuff. You can do tricks if you want, get other secrets. But probably the most interesting thing, though, is going to be collectibles. There are 3 types of collectibles. P-switches, which you see over there. Question mark panels, which are exclusive to the courses. And finally, the Peach medallions, which we'll probably be seeing a lot of, which is also sort of a reference. If you've played Super Mario World, then yeah, there's actually Peach medallions in that game as well, although it originally wasn't in the SNES version. It was only added to the Game Boy Advance version later. They haven't been seen for quite a while. Yeah, right there. See, that's the Peach medallion. Anyways, those are the 3 things we need to collect. And guess what? Yes, because we're doing true 100%, we're gonna get absolutely everything. The most important thing we're going to have to use here is the map screen. Thankfully, the game does keep track of how much we've hit, and we're going to need this, because this is the only way we're going to 100% this game otherwise. So our goal right now is to get, if we want to 100% this game, according to my guide, we need 150 question mark panels, 200 Peach medallions, and unless a change is made, 394 P-switches. What are these things? I think it'd be easier to just figure out. The easiest way to get these done, however, is to start with the tracks first. So we're going to start over here in Airship Fortress. So each collectible has a few features you have to do, and this is pretty much going to take you down to exploration. You're pretty much going to have to explore a map. Question mark panels, they're actually fairly simple. You pretty much just have to trick in a way that either hits you off a specific area, or you're gonna have to jump for it. How do we actually do the jump, however? Well, it's actually quite tough. First off, you're gonna need to build up quite a bit of speed. Once you do that, if you hold down left for a certain amount of frames, your character will actually do a mid-air jump. And yeah, this can actually happen. You can do lots of things really quickly by doing a mid-air jump. And basically, it's called a boost jump. Basically, if your car sparks and then you press base R1, yeah, you can just kind of jump whatever. And if you do a power jump just right, not only can you trigger wall rides using this, but you can also trigger all sorts of other stuff. The reason why I'm telling you it now is because it is essential to get some of the later stuff in free roam mode, as we will need to master this trick if we want to get it done. So, we're going for that question mark panel right now. And as you can see, by doing that, not only were we able to wall ride as well, but we were also able to go around this circle and kind of get this all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And yeah, okay, anyways, my apologies if you're going to see me pause for a lot, but unfortunately, there is no real guide to keep track of these. You kind of just have to go through and use my gun to basically see stuff around. That's basically the idea. Okay, thankfully there is only one Peach medallion that's in this course at the very least. Anyways, I'm basically using a game code guide, and basically, once you collect an item, you can mark it as required, and you won't have to worry about going back to there later. So yeah, we got that done. Unfortunately, the map doesn't really tell us where to go. We kind of just have to go around and do other stuff. Anyways, as you might have noticed, those first collectibles were fairly easy. We just had to do a couple of things to get them done, and then we would be fine. However, the P-switches are where the most interesting part's gonna come in. These are basically like, you may as well call these the new version of mission. For those of you who don't know, mission mode is an old feature that used to be included in DS to do a bunch of specific trials and finish them all to get points. The P-switch trials are basically this game's version of time trials. Pretty much have to go through and do other stuff as fast as possible. Thankfully, there is a retry option enabled, so we can redo these as many times as possible, and no matter what character you're using, any character can probably do this. Of course, it's easier to drift and do other stuff, but it can get tricky. But yeah, basically, for this one, basically think of it as like the gates in the mission mode. They basically require you to go around and do gates, and this is basic. So we're pretty much gonna have to drift around to get all of the gates, basically. And once we get all of those done, we'll be able to finish. But of course, some are differentiating amounts of difficulty. Some are really hard, and others are just really tricky. One thing I've also noticed is, yes, I finally figured out how to turn backwards. Turns out it was X. I was pressing the wrong button this whole time, and I did not know about it. Okay, well, it looks like we do need a good item, so we'll start by into these item boxes before then triggering the airship time trial again. Hopefully that will work a little bit better. Definitely need to drift in these if we want to do this really fast. Because that's the easiest way to get through this otherwise. Some time trials can be a bit tighter than others also. Some are a little bit easier than others. It's hard to know. We kind of just have to do this and hope for the best. Oh, that's a question mark panel, so we'll have to get that at some point, too. And there we go, we got it done. I see, so that's how we can get backwards. That's most annoying about this is while the question mark panels do stay afloat, the P-switches do not. So if you were to actually go backwards to that same exact trial again a second time, then it would actually give us the same exact thing again. So we do need to be careful of that as we play this setup. Thankfully, the game does keep track of how many you acquired, and you don't actually need to get them all to finish the game. However, each one does give a unique sticker the first time you do it. Oh, I just realized, oh wait, hang on, they do actually show something. Notice how it was blue before, but now it's gray. Okay, so they turn it gray to let you know you've already done that one. Anyways, yeah, basically, this is basically what we have to do. We're basically going to go for each course, and every time we get a new secret, we're going to mark it as acquired, so we do not know not to do that again. And then from there, just kind of go for the track and, yeah, hope for the best, basically. If you don't have max moves yet, you can also get coins while doing this mode, but yeah. Anyways, that is going to be the main feature in this mode by far. We're going to have to basically go around every single track, do every single effect, and basically just get all the coin stuff done. There's not really a good way to figure out where everything is, too. You just kind of have to go around and just kind of explore to figure out. That's how you're going to find most of these such as. Anyways, we got the Rocky Wrench one. Now, you're not intended to use boost items from these, but because we got a boost item, you may as well use them. It's a good thing they let you use boost items, or else some of these challenges might be really awkward. Anyways, for our specific requirement, we're gonna need 10. Yes, 10 of each of these collectibles before we can get the specific collectible we want. Okay, alright, that trick did make me go a little bit farther. Let's try this a little differently. You can actually use retry mission, by the way, even if you've already done the mission. Doing so will allow you to basically allow you to teleport back to where you were. But anyways, I hope you guys don't get too bored by this mechanic, because it is actually a pretty cool mode to play through. Alright. So my biggest problem here is knowing what exactly you acquire in what order. So I'm pretty much just looking around. Anyways, let's see here. Okay, so this one's clearly the one I have to do. Alright, so we saw a panel already before, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of bonk into the wall and get that, and there we go, we got a question mark panel activated. You can only find these in the different tracks, so yeah. My apologies ahead of time if I'm pausing a lot, but then again, this is gonna happen a lot in free roam. Since it's so many darn collectibles, in fact, this mode is definitely more collectibles in other games. In fact, I'll say it right now, this is definitely the most collectibles I've had to ever do in a Mario Kart game. Anyways, yeah. Remember that jump boost, because we're going to have to use it if we want to do some of the later stages. Or, if we're not really great at playing the game, probably the easier way of doing some of those tricks is to either get a boost to a certain spot, or in this case, I think, yeah, we could actually just jump off the wall and get that. So there we go, we got another one done. And by the way, to make this as interesting as possible, every start of the video and every half of the video for the first bit, I'm going to rotate between the characters and cards that I haven't used yet. However, later I will be rotating to different characters who need more collectibles, because remember, we're still trying to get all the costumes too, and that's going to take a little bit, so we need to make sure we do that as well. So yeah, that's just what we're going to do. And yes, I'm using the guide very intensely because it's very easy to accidentally miss something if you're not careful. Alright, so anyways, we did everything on the top here in Airship Fortress, but we still need to get to the main track set up first, which we still haven't gotten to yet. So, yeah. I think... No, that's just a map. So, we don't really have much breaking stuff that can be done. I'm gonna keep this in case I need it for later. Oh wait, yeah, okay, here's the main track now. Alright, so if we take this part, we'll be on the back of the track now, and we can actually look at some of the different stuff here. Okay, we could also turn around from the starting line to get this as well, but we weren't really close to the starting line, so to be fair, we have to do it like this. Oh, by the way, some of the other drivers are also dry around here, and sometimes they'll use items. They won't try to hit you, but if you're not ready for them, they can sometimes distract you and mess you up. Anyways, if we turn around left and just kind of keep going up, there'll be this question mark paddle over here. We can activate yell, and yeah, we just got that done like that. It was pretty easy. But that's not the only thing we can do here. We'll go ahead and get this, and also, more importantly, there are these little panels around here. If you're having trouble finding collectibles, well, you can zoom down, and depend on where you zoom in, you can occasionally spot a collectible by using this. So, some of these are useless. Others, if you look at just the right spot, you can use them to spot collectibles. Like, as you can see, I was able to see a question mark panel from there, so that's a good way to find collectibles if you're struggling. I just wanted to show what it's done. Anyways, we need to go back down, so the easiest way to do that is to just get into our flying state, and then we're just gonna kind of go around on the left. It's probably not gonna work, actually. Probably the easier right now is to actually just select this again, and as long as we do this, we go right to the starting line. Now if we turn around here, we'll see another challenge over here, which we can do, so let's do that. And it looks like we're gonna be going up top this time. Oh boy, alright, this is gonna be an interesting one. As far as I'm aware, the challenge is kind of mixed. Some of these challenges are mostly jokes and really just make sure you know how to actually play the game, while others are kind of like mission mode from Mario Kart DS, in that they could be either really semi-hard or really freaking difficult. It really just depends. With however many challenges we do, too, there's bound to be at least a couple of hard ones here and there. Also, we can just do this instead of waiting around. We'll pop back out, but it'll be grayed out, so we won't have to do that again. This is useful because it lets us go back up to this area a bit sooner, which is very cool. Honestly, I think free-roam mode might be the most casual mode in the game. I actually enjoy it, because looking at it from like a player perspective, this has never been in a Mario Kart mode before. It definitely is unique. Okay, so those parts we cannot go off, but I believe there is a trick we can still accomplish. We're gonna actually probably want to do stuff slowly. I think more than any other setups. Playing this slowly is definitely advised, especially if you're new. Where is the thing? Okay, cool. Wall will help us out a little bit here. Okay, that did not work from that angle, but we could try going back up here and see what happens. So let's climb up here for a bit. Some of these question mark pals can be very hard to spawn, and others you'll just run into instantly. A lot of it is really just exploring the whole map and figuring out where the heck you're supposed to go. I just realized, looking at this now, unless this is blocked off in the actual fix mode, this could be a really cool shortcut. You like go down here and go to the right. Yeah, you can pretty quickly get to the end using that. I'm gonna have to remember those, because some of these shortcuts can be useful if you know where you're going. Alright, anyways, well, we got that one. We got this P-switch. And so there's only one more question mark panel here, and we'll be done with this track. But once we're done with this track, it's gonna get more interesting, because then we're gonna have to actually, like, go off of the main world and start doing stuff from there. Anyways, let's check here. Okay, so we have to go on to this wooden veg of some kind. Oh, wherever that is. I think that's like, yeah, here. And then, if we go left here, we should see a passage, which if we go here, yeah, there'll be a boost here. And remember, we do not need to use our drift boost to get that. If you're going a decent amount of speed and then do this, as long as you weren't moving in either direction, you can get a question mark panel by just basically doing this. So yeah. You can pretty much, done correctly, a charged jump can be very useful to dodge items as well. It's actually one of the few ways you can dodge items too, which is really cool. So, as you can see, although we haven't made much progress yet, we are getting quite a bit of collectibles. And anyways, you can switch between these maps very easily. So, now that we're done with Airship Fortress, let's go back to the free roam map itself, where we'll see a bunch more stuff here. Okay, apparently we need to go a little bit higher for another one. So we're gonna have to keep going up top. So this time we're gonna have to drive around for quite a bit, unfortunately. We need to go back to a boost out, but then we have to actually fly in midair to get to this. And yes, upside here we get a couple of stuff. Okay, well that didn't really send us anywhere we want it to be. What if we do the second one instead? Maybe that will give us somewhere better. I hope this doesn't look too boring for you guys, but to be fair, we have to do it this way if we want to get stuff done, after all. Okay, well... There is also a rewind feature. I haven't figured out how to do that. Let's actually go around and press the different buttons and just figure out. Ah, I see. It's this. Okay. So use the back mode to do that. So, yeah, that's... You can actually, I think, use this in time trials as well. However, it does seem a little unfair, so I'm probably not going to use it. Also, I think if you use it in the Grand Prix mode, you're being kind of bugs, but that doesn't really matter because free roam mode is where it's most important. Of course, anybody who's played Forza Horizon 5 will already know about what rewind is. Basically, if you make a mistake in a particular area, it could be a very long time to back. However, if you press the back button before the back unleashes, you can do what's called rewind, which lets you basically redo one section over and over and over again until you get exactly what you need. So, say I was trying to get to this boost and yeah, I didn't really do well. Well, I can press back, and now we can basically just go back to the point before we use that, and then we can basically adjust something, and then maybe, just maybe, we can make it on the second try. In fact, yeah, see, right now we're actually on here. Wow, that's cool. Okay, I think I need to jump off here. Okay, and I messed up again. This is why this mode is kind of useful for it, because if you make a mistake, you can basically just keep trying until you get it done. And because of that, we were able to get that Peach medallion fairly quickly. That was fun to get without that. Anyways, so we'll mark that as acquired now. And but mark the other ones that we've done already as acquired. Thankfully, each of these blue parts also have their own unique mark as acquired, so they can be useful. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, we did that. Let's go ahead and keep 100%ing this part. Okay, we need to go... So just looking at the map, I think we want to go... Yeah, we want to go bottom part first. But we have to get to that part first. Oh yeah, and there's also photo mode too, so if we wanted to take a shot, like... Yeah, we can do this and then press this button to take a screenshot if you wanted to. So yeah, there's a photo mode as well. Which probably would show it off. It's pretty cool. Anyways, we're gonna need to get down to a specific spot. I think the easiest way to actually do it from here is to go onto the airship itself first, from this part. And yeah, I think this is gonna be how we have to go back down here. I like how only now we guided 50 kilometers total. Alright. Since this is already here, let's go in and see what this is. We may as well do all these when we find. Cruise on the current route to reach the go. Okay, that's not what I expected it to be. But that works. It's different, I guess. I just realized there was no enemies before this. Now there is enemies walking around. We got done. That was pretty easy. Okay, alright, that was a different one that we got. Alright, don't really know a good spot, and it didn't look like it let me retry in time. I probably should have retried sooner, but then again, this is a mode. We're still trying to learn some ins and outs of the game. It's gonna take a bit before we can do stuff. Yes, you will know, might have noticed, yes, there is out-of-bounds spots as well. While you can go in a lot of places, you can't go everywhere, so Lakia will return us if we try to do stuff. Alright, so, for this next part, we're gonna have to go pretty far out of the way. In case you're wondering, yes, I'm trying to do each map part by section. I was initially gonna do it by the tracks, but while I am still focusing on that, I want to do it section by section. I think if we can knock out each section one at a time, it'll be easier to do, and I think the easiest way of doing that is to just start on the top of the map and kind of work our way to the bottom. So anyways, we have to go pretty much all the way around here, and yes, you can drift in the water as well. Not all the spots work, obviously, but like, a good amount of them do. That's not what I wanted to do. It's so easy to accidentally go somewhere else. Might just watch this. It's kind of weird. It shows it in a weird spot, but I don't know if it was been done or not. Jeez, I cannot speak today. Alright, well, if we want to at least get close to it, we need to make sure that we do stuff first. Oh, no wonder why this didn't work. I see now. So no wonder why that was not in the right spot. This one is actually technically still in the track. It's just not where I expected it. Alright. As you might have guessed, some of these parts are kind of confusing to find, because some of these are in the actual tracks, others are not. It's hard to know exactly what you have to do. Anyways, if we just go through the main track normally, I think we want to just take this map. And yeah, probably should have done this earlier anyways, and because by doing that, it takes us to a completely different area, which if we hit, will give us this secret, which we can now go through. And now it's time for a one fight. Flight. Jeez, I cannot speak today. Flight for a hole-in-one. Not sure if you can use rewind in this. I think it's banned, so we need to make sure that we actually do this properly. Well, actually, no wait, we can do it as long as we have a good amount of stuff. I'm just gonna retry though. This is gonna keep happening. So, alright. Getting height off of this thing, I've noticed, can be quite challenging. Especially when you're new to the fly mechanics like I am. Because you have to, like, lie down for certain parts, but then go down for other parts. Because remember, this kind of acts like a pain in some sorts. Because you need to lie down for certain other spots, but line up for everything else. How did that not work? I don't know why sometimes that doesn't work, though. I think that's probably the most confusing challenge we've had in a while. Some, like I said, some of these you can do right away, others are just really confusing. Pretty much have to do this in a very particular way. Maybe we'll have to do like a backflip or something to get those. We have to get this done. Okay, now we got it. Ah, there we go. We got it done. If we retry, we'll go right back to where we were before that, and then we can just use this normally, and we can get back down to the track if we want. And there we go. So, that done, we are officially done with at least some of the area around Airship Fortress. Not all of it, but a good amount of it. Now, I'm probably going to focus on getting the areas around Bowser's Castle next, so that will be probably our next part we do. Before we do that, though, we are getting to the halfway mark, so it's time to change our character. We'll do Cheat Sheet next, since it's in linear order. And we'll change the card as well. I just realized if you change cars midway through, it just kind of drops you down. It doesn't remember that I was flying. It's kind of weird. I just realized they're doing remixes of all sorts of different themes here, which I think is pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, get used to seeing this mode for a while, because this is actually what's going to make up the majority of the game. Because once you actually time it correctly, the other stuff that you do in this game is not really long. Like, Mario Kart was not really designed to be a long game generally, but when you go for all the stuff here, the world definitely feels massive. Yes, there are some, like, shortcuts, but they're limited. You can't do them everywhere, so it's kind of tough. Anyways. Alright, so this next coin can be a little bit trolly. So basically, we're gonna have to go in like a weird setup, and we're gonna do something really weird. We're gonna go behind this cannon here. This one's probably a big trolley spot too, and yeah, if we go behind here, there's just a random peach medallion in the middle of nowhere. As you can see, Nintendo wants you to look everywhere, not just like in the small areas, but everywhere they want you to look hard in order to get stuff done. Anyways, we'll go ahead and begin our free roam for here again, because now that we're done with that, we now have to go back and do some other stuff. So now we're going for this next one, which says scoop boot coins up while riding on the rails. The easiest way to probably get to that is to actually just go backwards from here and actually just drive along this bend, and we should eventually find it. We'll get a better angle from the air as well. Oh, actually, okay, well, looks like we found it right away. In case you haven't noticed, this part will not be blind because I do not want to spend several thousand hours. So instead, I'm going to be using a guide to slowly but surely locate these one at a time. Okay, so this is the correct one, so yeah. So now, not only do we have these regular coin mission stuff to do, but we also have coin missions too. So the game is quite interesting. A lot of these are made also to test different mechanics, of course. Or in this case, we have to ride the rails and basically do a rail ride off of these in order to actually win. If you didn't know how to do that, you probably would not have cleared that challenge. But doing these challenges also helps you learn new mechanics, like the rail riding, which we're gonna also have to abuse quite a bit if we want to get through this game. Alright, so now that that's done, there's not really a good way to figure out what to do, so I'm just gonna first check my direction. Okay, this will be good. We're going to just kind of drive around here. I think this is P-switches. Actually, yeah, we didn't have to drive very long. We found another one right away. We'll just do this and then check to see what it is. Anyways, yeah. So let's go in here. Hit this P-switch. And we have to wave our way through these wumps, huh? I just realized we have boost. We can just take a shortcut and not even go around that path. In fact, if we do a trick stuff, yeah, we could probably get through this a bit faster by just doing that. So yeah, there's a skip. I've seen one. Not too hard at all. We'll keep retrying each time too, so we go right back to where we were. Okay, so this one's close. I think then the next one we just need to drive a little bit backwards and we should find it in a minute. Okay, so this Yoshi Diner is right here, so that means we're going the right way. If you're wondering why doing this area first is you cannot get to this area from any other spot, so it can be quite tough to 100% this area, because this Bowser's Castle spot, once you go into Bowser's Castle, it's kind of hard to leave. I did try to leave initially before when I was first doing this, but yeah, it's tricky. Okay, so there's a wall in our way, so I guess we're gonna have to do a charge jump again, so let's do that. It's a good thing that exists in the game. They probably put it in the game just to make this mode easier. But, of course, if you know what you're doing, you can also use this to do other stuff. Alright, so we get a nice big gliding session for a bit. Yes, I'm spamming tricks still, because I believe there are some specific collectibles that do require you to do tricks. So the more we do now, the less we'll have to do later. You might have noticed, yes, we do also get a sticker every single time we complete one of these. So we are going to rack up stickers very quickly by just doing all of these. Forgive me, by the way. I'm so used to minus being the thing that opens up stuff. It just kind of gets confusing. Okay, so this next part should actually be pretty close by. I think... Oh, wait, no, this was right. Okay, so I think we need to go here, yeah. We basically the same direction we were already facing. If we go here for a bit, we should probably find another switch as well. I don't think there's one over here, but we'll keep going anyway. Alright, it looks like we did find one over here, so let's go ahead and hit this. Time to gather blue coins around a narrow world. On a narrow world, excuse me. Trying to say things correctly is kind of being troublesome right now. Okay, get these out of the way. Okay. Okay, yeah, well, since that doesn't reduce the time, we're probably gonna have to do that part a little bit slowly. Some of these you can't always rush too, like, since we're on a narrow road now, we have to take our time, so characters that have more turning, if I could say anything, you probably want to stack handling more than anything in this kind of mode. Because seat stacking isn't always required for this part. Alright, got that done. Now we'll keep going normally. Okay, that was easy enough. After we learned what to do there. And we'll retry so we brought back to the start. Okay, so that was gather blue coins around a narrow road. That was a little bit farther away than where we had to go. So now we're gonna have to actually, probably just drop down over here. Okay, wait, not there. Okay, let's do that again, but let's not drop down on the lava. Let's just drop down on the other side instead. Okay. Good, alright. This got me to this part. Now we can do this next. Okay, this is the correct one. Alright. So now we get to go on lava for some reason. Let me guess. We're gonna have to get a star. So apparently, if you use a superstar on lava, this is basically showing that you can basically be completely immune to the lava. Because the lava is normally a dead end and kind of stops you, but if you have a superstar, you can just go through that. That's actually a cool new feature I didn't know about. Alright, now if you know where to go, by the way, it's very easy to just rack these up very quickly. Oh my gosh. I'm never gonna stop accidentally trying to take bolos, I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna get annoying after a while, but what can we do? For those of you who don't know, yes, these videos, I guess I should have warned you, but they're gonna be a lot longer now that we're doing free roam mode, because even with a guide, this is still gonna take quite a while. I bet you I would not even get close to doing this if I didn't have a guide. Because I'd probably, have to just blindly explore and hope for the best. Since we're here to show it true 100%, using a guide for this part especially makes the most sense. I don't know if anybody's even done this without a guide, let alone with one. I guess they're, I feel they've probably done it already, but still, this is a lot of collectibles. Almost kind of reminds me of how Donkey Kong 64 had, like, tons of collectibles. That's kind of what it's reminding me of. Like, there were a lot of collectibles in that game, too. Alright, so that was not reach top of decimals. Actually, wait, what was this, actually? Let's hit it, actually. Oh, okay, it was this one. Yeah, and we can just retry too, so we can just go back to the start now. Anyway, so now for another Peach Medallion, let's go up over to the top right of this part of the track. All the way up here, and yeah, okay, we're gonna have to do one of those weird trick boosts or go up a little bit higher. To be honest, I'm a bit annoyed that we have to do lots of just random jumps just to even get to certain areas. Okay. Oh, actually this is a good place to freeze, because I don't know which medallion this is. Okay, yeah, alright, that's this one. So, well, our dad is acquired, because we're about to get that. Not gonna lie, there's a lot of stuff to collect. Part of the whole problem with this is just trying to remember where the heck everything is. This is definitely gonna take a while, but at the very least it is gonna be unique. Nice Yoshi's story theme, by the way. Like I said, they're doing all sorts of remixes of other things, which I like. Okay, oh, I see. Wait, oh, okay. So this one, we can, abuse. If we actually select a specific character, we can actually start from a specific point. So, you know what, actually, so here's another thing you can do. If you select a specific character, you'll start that character from a specific point, and yeah. This can be useful for getting certain coins, especially if it starts in a specific area, because depending on where you go with that character, you can get a bunch of stuff done. Okay, well, that didn't really work. Alright, let's just actually change our character back before we get anything from that. Honey, saps. Alright, back onto the fight frame we go. Okay, so we started next to that wall, and unfortunately I kind of forgot where to go. Wherever, this is a very confusing mode to do if you're new to the game. I think I'll do that next with last. Alright, so we started from here. Alright, go to the fork, turn right, and then left is what it says. So let's try to figure that out now. Where's the fork? I'm still waiting for it. Okay, this is gonna take a while. You know what? Yeah, maybe just doing this is faster. Sure, we'll do this one instead. Oh. Whoops. Did not want to do that. I thought there was a wall there or something. Clearly that was not the case at all. Okay, let's go here now. Oh. Okay, that was pretty tough actually, getting to that B-switch. I just realized what I have to do now. We have to switch between wall and wall. We start on this wall at first. So we have to wall ride, in case you haven't noticed. That's why it looks so weird. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Keep going. Hope for the best. Okay, that time it worked. Wait a bit. Oh, maybe we have to turn around here first. Then go right at this fork, and then go left. I think that's where we messed up. I think we need to go towards Bowser's Castle. I think that's where we messed up. We need to face Bowser's Castle here. think that's where we messed up here. Yeah, let's try up here for a second. Okay. Doesn't seem like anything's happening there. Alright, looks like we're not gonna get anywhere for a little bit, unfortunately. Alright. Well, yeah, I think this is a good spot to end it anyway. We were done with 15 minutes, so, looking at our map, as you can see, we did quite a bit, thankfully. We got 12 P-switches, but there's still a lot more to get. 5 of the question mark blocks, and 4 Peach medallions in this episode. Which means we're now going to end the episode here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yes, it's getting around that time. It's the time to end the episode time. Hopefully you guys won't get too bored watching this, but to be fair, this is really cool, and I do like it, and it's going to be very fun to get through all the stuff. This is definitely going to be a very Gmo, both for me and also just trying to figure out where half of these things are. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video when it comes out. Until then, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.